Give me a second to find this video. I'm going to be chatting a little bit about Atlantis. I want to kind of go into, I'll wait till some people get on here, but I'm kind of all over the place. A lot of the times when I'm talking about Atlantis, we think of one place, but it would have been divided into 3 experiences. So today I'm going to talk about the first experience a little bit, whereas usually I am referring to the second and the third. And I want to talk a little bit about this past life knowing that is kind of coming to the surface now and why it's coming to the surface. So give me a second to find this video. Good morning. I'm going to be talking about Atlantis. A lot of times we can't remember our history. I was looking at some different stuff this morning, and you know, like a lot of our history has been distorted. People can't decipher it. You know, we have so many accounts. A lot of it is mythology being passed down. Usually when I am referring to the destruction of Atlantis, I'm referring to the second and third experience. Atlantis would have occurred 3 times in our history. Lemuria occurred twice. And so today I'm going to talk a little bit about the first experience. A lot of the time I'm talking about the second and third usually as one experience. A lot of the souls that would have incarnated now to experience these current events we're going through together. We're all, you know, having our own worlds within worlds here, but we're sharing one collective experience. A lot of the souls that are here now would have replayed this same drama before. It should seem a little familiar to you, the global elite and how things are playing out on a spiritual level. So, you know, for each experience that they had, they really dropped in consciousness. The first experience of Atlantis, they would have been much more spiritually connected. I kind of am going to glimpse over this one, but I would love to know what the creatures were that led to the destruction of the first Atlantis. There were these animals, these creatures. I'm not sure if they're referring to dinosaurs, and I'm being serious, or if they're referring to some type of astral kind of entity, you know, manifested into the physical that kind of led to the destruction of it. People will be like, okay, that's kind of out there, right? Well, I mean, I did go on to Google just to see if there was anything on the topic, and there is a piece of artwork described as dinosaurs on the shores of Atlantis. I'm not really sure. Edgar Cayce did mention that these may have been dinosaur-like beings. They were described, you know, as humanoid type of entities. I'm not sure if they were genetically modified too. I know that with the second and third Atlantis, which I'm going to get into, there was a lot of things going on that are going on now that should seem familiar. Well, why the amnesia? So I don't know anything about dinosaurs either, I'm thinking this morning. All I know is that an asteroid came and took out the dinosaurs. This is what I was taught going through our school systems, and that's pretty much it, right? So I would love to know more about that topic. You can see that a lot of the same things began to play out. And that, like, just as the elite are using technology for chemtrails, there's a lot of war nowadays, present day, there's a lot of war, destruction, using technology for negative purposes, such as wars and weapons and things like that. And you could really see, you know, possibly that the people that are playing the global elite role this life have been here before and in past times would have played those same roles. We can't be forced into awakening. This is part of the problem of trying to wake someone up. You know, a lot of times people wake up and they're like, oh, let's wake up my friends and family. You can't force an awakening. It's about a person finding God. Because, you know, when I went through this experience, first I had to find God before I could awaken and, you know, get into enlightenment and realize it was more of a source energy. So from that third dimensional perspective, first I had to find God within myself on so many levels. So we can't force a spiritual awakening. These people, not just in this experience, but in past times, have had a choice to wake up. We've always had a choice. It's been right here. So a lot of times people are not choosing to wake up, but it is serving a purpose. So what do? We're like, we can't remember this stuff. Let's blame the global elite. That's usually my first response. These were experiences with a lot of sorrow, that we were ones to blame too, and that it was just like nowadays where all the churches, there's corruption in the churches. Well, there was corruption in, the second and third Atlantis, in the temples, in the governments, in very high places, like they say about nowadays. And we see a lot of that is still occurring now. It's kind of just like the same experience recreated again. And the reason why we're at this same point that we've been at once before in our past lives is so that we could make a better choice, so that we could shift to service and change the outcome of, a destructive end that we all kind of saw and experienced. Your soul would have had a hard time coming back here, not being able to remember these things. Your soul would have chosen to forget, so that we could come back here. Because like I said, when you get into these past places, a lot of the time, it's very dualistic. With there was a lot of good in these places. There was a lot of technology being used for healing, spiritual purposes. But yet, at the same time, just like today, there was a lot of, technology being used to wage wars and destruction and things like that. Alright, so we see that this was a place, and I'm going to mention this again. I have to look further into this later. I need to go meditate on this stuff. I haven't had time, right? So, I do know that Edgar Cayce talked about, I had to get the name, a death ray. This would have been in the final Atlantis, I'm assuming Atlantis 3. And they talk about this type of technology. I think it's really cool because I'm into Nikola Tesla's free energy, obviously, and other type of free energies. And I'm real into ley line energies and what we could be doing with these energies. And so I know that, Tesla had patented one of these similar. That it was so similar to the one that took out all of Atlantis. And guess what happened to Tesla? He was discredited and the government took his work. And so we know that there are these technologies today that are very familiar to what was occurring in past places right now. I had to make my little notes, right? Alright, so we see a lot of EMF technologies too that were in Atlantis, and we also have a lot of EMF technologies here, which I wasn't currently aware of until I moved to the United Kingdom, and then I became made aware that they're using EMF type technologies, aside from the general. I know this is a war on our frequency, but I mean like actual EMF gun type things and technologies. I want to mention that this was probably the worst thing that could have happened back then because, let's see. I know, half asleep. We are bioelectric. That means that if they set up 5G everywhere, because our systems run and we are bioelectric, that we are very, very vibrationally sensitive. Even people that aren't tuned in and can't feel energy, we're really affected by our environments. And if you don't believe me, go live with someone toxic for a week or go somewhere real bad and you'll instantly feel, the energy or feel uncomfortable. Some people feel anxiety. We all process energy differently, but we're really vibrationally sensitive. Like I could go ahead and tweak my vibration and get all high vibe and come around you guys and it will lift up your frequency. So we see a lot of the same stuff playing out with things like 5G, which is a war on our frequency. A lot of it has less to do with what they say it's for. And I look at 5G as like a mind control type of system because it alters your state of perception, kind of your altered state of reality, some of these things. Let's see. Okay, we're going to switch to more positive things. Crystals! Alright, crystals are to communicate with other dimensions. I believe that in the second and third Atlantis that they had crystal technology from Lemuria. And people will be like, wait, I thought Lemuria was destroyed. These were people that were at a very high level of consciousness. And there is some evidence to show, I believe, that people could communicate interdimensionally and had abilities that we haven't yet tuned into. So, they could have had groups from Lemuria intermingling with Egypt, Atlantis intermingling with Egypt, and swapping technologies and things like that. We see a lot of crystals being used for healing. I was really drawn to go to London. I want to go back. I'm going to go back too, probably one day, right? I was really drawn to go to London to see the crystal skull that they had here. I believe that these do have a connection with Atlantis, if not Lemuria. I'm not really sure, but I was really drawn to it. I was doing my usual telepathying it and connecting with it and whatever. And these crystals are ancient. Now, a lot of you guys are playing with crystals at home, and you know, you might have just bought it. It might be like a week old from the shop. It's okay. These crystals, a lot of them have been on this planet since those times. That's why they're so powerful. So, you know, crystals have been here probably, I don't even know, millions of years, right? They've been here millions of years. They're kind of found in nature. You guys can be using them in powerful ways. They're really good multi-dimensional healing tools as well. They're really good for communicating between dimensions. They're good for dream work, healing, lifting your vibration, resetting and recalibrating your frequency, all sorts of uses. I believe that we're going to get back into that crystal type of technology for healing. So a lot of people that might have had past lives in Atlantis are probably really drawn to crystals. You guys can be working with Metatron. I'm not really into the archangels as much as some people are. I know that a lot of people are really, really into working with angels. If that's for you, if it resonates with you, Metatron is an angel that holds a lot of records from Atlantis, and you know, in connecting with Metatron, you can probably be gifted information either, you know, from your past life experiences in Atlantis or just about Atlantis in general. You'll find much of what people do recall about Atlantis might be complex. I have a pretty good understanding of these places, but it's so hard for me to try to get on video and even talk about it. It's probably what I know most about in my Akashic and my experiences, but it's really hard to translate my knowing into teaching and talking about it. So, you know, everyone has their own soul perspective if they had experiences there. A lot of that is going to come back now because it's going to explain what we're doing here now. And so, you know, it's why I feel compelled to be talking about this subject so much. Let's see. All right, we have been programmed to expect that we're going to have, I'm looking at the comments, to expect that we're going to have an apocalypse. This is part of our programming. We see doomsday movies. We see movies about aliens attacking us and killing us all so that people have this fear. There's a lot of, you know, interdimensional stuff going on here. A lot of people see orbs as in angels, UFOs as in spacecrafts, or have experience with deceased loved ones in the other realm. People are coming online to a lot of spiritual abilities, but we've been sold on this doomsday scenario, and that if there's any aliens, they are awful and they're going to kill us all and it's going to be negative. And that's a lot of what's being hidden with our history, because I always say these were galactic type of civilizations, and you know, this is what is occurring now while we're trying to reach and attain a higher state of awareness. For the first time in a very long time, contact is being made on this planet. Not only contact, we're being assisted on large scales with this ascension, not only from the outside, but a lot of starseed souls have incarnated into this planet to kind of assist with this time too. So a lot of times when you want to get back to these past life experiences, I always kind of get drawn back as on a soul level, you know, to the fact that I am a starseed, and that I would have incarnated to this planet, into these places, but from outside sources. My soul did not originate from Earth, and you know, I kind of got brought here on my journey to help, you know, bring some light into these places, bring knowledge, bring knowing, information. A lot of times if you're drawn to this topic, it is because you lived in these past places too. I always say that whatever you guys are interested in, like watching YouTubes of, or going to Google about, or trying to look into furtherly, you know, this is your soul coming back to you. I can't say it. Just kind of, you know, you're going to resonate with it. You're going to resonate with this stuff. That's what's bringing you to it. Like people that are so obsessed with Egypt or the art or want to look at it with their free time, well then you probably had a past life there. I found that this life, I'm getting led back to my past life experiences, whether they're karmic things I tend to recreate, or places my soul has been, even being drawn to the United Kingdom. And this isn't the first country that I've been drawn to or visited. I feel like I'm kind of, you know, taking this past life tour, this life, to kind of come back to myself. So if you're drawn to these places, you probably, you know, spent time there. Lots of synchronicities. I love it. You guys are getting synchronicities. You know, we're trying to get back to these abilities. I think that the most powerful thing that we can do is just have the desire to want to serve the collective, to be service of others. You know, it depends on where you're at, but we should want what's best for everyone at some point. And if we look at the technologies that are being used, you know, it's all about money. The government, their wars, whatever they do behind the scenes, it's all about cash. The pharmaceuticals, none of it is what's best for people. And so, you know, we're coming to a place of technology once again where it's being used for the negative, being sold to the highest bidder. Like I said, they have created this hierarchy of the global elite and us out of fear. That's nothing more, just fear. Just, you know, putting fear stuff all over consciousness. And a lot of this, right? Well, it's become a little top heavy. Their pyramid's falling over. So this is where we're kind of at with it. And Atlantis was not the only place that would have mastered, especially in the second and third, harnessing free energy, using the collective energy grids, creating grids of energy. And we see a lot of that is being used for the negative now with the global elite. So, you know, this should be kind of familiar to people that we've been at this place before, but it didn't go good. And we have everyone kind of walking around in a fluoride haze, not caring that we're at the most pivotal time for humanity. We can either, you know, choose to change and to align with spiritual and get back to nature and set aside, you know, the technology and the ego and the power struggles and get back to kind of a place of love and compassion, or we can destroy ourselves once again. And, you know, we're kind of on the brink of something amazing and crazy right now. And like I said, you know, you can't force a spiritual awakening. We're seeing rapidly that the souls that are choosing not to wake up are leaving this experience. And, you know, not every soul has chosen this. I think it's important to remember that these souls that some might see as dark, like the global elite, are playing a purpose. They can continue to go to other worlds and universes and help, you know, play a role in this enlightenment process as well. But there's a certain point where if you're not kind of getting this and you're not choosing to wake up, then, you know, whatever, you're choosing not to do this ascension, it's going to be too late to catch up. So we're seeing that as these energies are getting really intense on this planet, that is having different impacts on different people's energy, depending on where you're at spiritually. Your numbers, I get numbers all day long and I look them all up now. It's my new favorite hobby, looking up angel numbers. If you're getting a synchronicity, if you see numbers on your clock, like 333, 222, go to Google, look it up. Go look up the angel number meaning to it. I like to look them up and see what they mean. And then I have angels communicating with me all day long. Stay excited when you're getting synchronicity too. You know, this is what our soul needs. It might not feel good at all the time. Sometimes you have like moments of bliss and then you're purging and you're doing all this spiritual stuff and kind of digging in deep. But this is what our souls need to transcend this. This is our past life collective karma coming back now too. And so, you know, we all were in these past places and played a role in it, and here we are. And this is a chance that we can clear this collective karma or continue to move forward on the same path, creating more karma. But, you know, our soul really just wants liberation from all of this. And we learned lessons, like I keep saying, about balancing technology and nature, and that we would have to live in one with Earth. We can't really destroy the Earth. And you know what happened really in Atlantis and probably several other places, not just these places. We see a theme with lost places, that what happens is that there's an imbalance that occurs, that we're all one. And when there is such an imbalance, that we see tons of earthquakes and volcanoes, and what will happen is the global leader kind of pushing things around here, and they're not going to be able to control the earth. What happens with these earth changes? Things no one wants to talk about. They talk about global warming, but it's really people's frustration, humanity's frustration, anger, feeling powerless, the things that lie beneath the subconscious, because we are all one, coming to the surface, especially as we're purging out things with these energies. A lot's coming to the surface. I really believe that we're going to see an increase in earthquakes and volcanoes, and we might even see, you know, some shifting around with the land structures, and, you know, it might be kind of reminiscent of past places. I'm not sure. I mean, it only happened every other time. I love it. I'm getting off of here because I gotta go do a real video. Okay, now Kathleen got her Atlantis initiation certificate. I have a new Atlantis class in our store too. I had to do this on every video, right? I'm forgetting. We have a new Atlantis initiation class in my store. I'm sure if you want my link, you can go find it all over my business page. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, if you guys haven't done your yearly energy exchange for this space, see the pinned post. This is a class space. Some people don't realize it stumbling in here. But since the class is halfway over, it would be, you know, my hope that everyone could have done that by now. I'm getting off of here. I'm going to get off of here and do an energy report and some cards. We have a real huge influx of energy coming in right now, and Sunday's going to be crazy. Like everyone's talking about the Lionsgate Thursday. I'm wondering what's going to happen Sunday. Because, you know, I have it described to me like we're going to be like probably the highest frequency we've been of the year. And then it's going to come to a halt because of Uranus and what happens with these astrological shifts. And so I'm like, oh, that sounds like a frequency crash possibly. Maybe we'll drop back down from the, you know, real high through the roof on the Schumann resonance to 8 hertz. I'm not really sure. It could be like a frequency reset. I'm predicting it's going to be like real crazy jumps we're making. So we're going to be vibrating really high, and then we're probably going to make a, you know, jump into a parallel timeline because the Earth is shifting too and doing its ascension. So just as we can keep our frequency high and shift to parallel realities and, you know, other worlds, other universes, so can the Earth, and that's kind of what's happening. So there's a huge influx of energy coming in today, tomorrow, probably, you know, through this Lionsgate gateway, which goes till the 12th. So we have a lot of really intense energies, and then next Thursday we have a full moon. So it's just going to kind of be a roller coaster ride until like next Friday. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water. I'm feeling a need to do lots of purifying this shift. I've been doing lots of cleansing, like incense, saging, cleaning. We've been getting rid of stuff here, spring cleaning, you know, getting rid of old experiences. It really helps to move the energy. I have the windows open. It's extra windy here because I'm over by the kind of heart chakra ley lines. But anyways, I've been feeling the need to get a lot of fresh air during this shift. So I've been trying to have the windows open if I can't get outside. Even better, get outside if you can. Try to take this energy in. A lot of people will be like at home hiding, right? Get outside, get in this energy, play in it, have fun. You know what the best way to shift your frequency is? Have some fun, light yourself up, play. Everyone's a little too serious around here, myself included, right? All we do is work and we're stressed out and a loop. So we can really shift our frequency and land to better timelines. Be very careful with your thoughts now. We're at like instant manifesting too with these energies coming in. So we need to be more careful with what we're focusing on right now. Stop looking behind you. Try to stay really focused on now and where you're headed.